Hello everyone, this is Gary from the Seer's Cave, and this is video 2 of my walkthrough of some of my favourite tarot decks. And once again I have 8 decks set out for you, and I'm going to begin by pairing up a little bit with decks I've done from video 1. So the first deck I'm going to show you is, you can see it's got quite an interesting back on this one. This is another large scale, relatively large scale deck, but can still be held. This is the Ancient Egyptian Tarot by Clive Barrett, and if you watched the previous video, you'll see that I also have his Norse Tarot, and both of which have a slightly Thoth theme to them. This has very sort of pictorial images, which are very, very rich. This is one of my favourite cards. This is an absolutely amazing, beautiful strength card, which features the goddess Sekhmet, and of course features a lion. And he really goes into detail about the mythology. For example, in this case, why Sekhmet has a red tunic, a red dress, and it's because she's basically a goddess of vengeance and was sent out on a mission to take revenge for the gods on some individuals. And essentially, when Osiris decided that it was time for her to stop, she didn't stop. She kind of couldn't. She got that bloodlust going on. So it's depicted in this way. The sort of blood on her hands is in her dress. So he does go quite deeply into some of the mythology as well. And then you have things like the Ten of Wands. The pictures are quite detailed and panoramic in this particular deck. Then you get things like the Two of Swords, which again has a sort of truce feel to it. Amazing Three of Swords card, which you can really see that sort of regret in the woman's posture here as her husband stands and sort of turns away from her. Some really nice aces too in this deck. Ace of Swords, Death card, which features of course Anubis, and it's just a really beautiful card, beautiful deck in fact. Six of Wands. Again, this has the kings on horseback, and the princes, when I find one, are on chariots. This is another king, this is discs. They're called discs rather than pentacles in this particular deck. A fabulous Wands ace, which is just absolutely gorgeous, really fiery. Interestingly, it's the world card rather than the universe in this deck. The magician, of course, is Thoth, or Toth, or Tot, I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. And then you have the Fool. The Devil, which features Set, or Setek. The Tower is quite interesting as well, because it shows kind of a Cleopatra's needle being struck. Judgment, of course, featuring Osiris. Temperance, Ra himself featuring in the Emperor card, unsurprisingly. And here's one of the princes. This is Swords. So all in all, there's another one. This is Discs. And Justice, the last one we'll do, which is Ma'at. So, all in all, an absolutely fabulous deck. Now, I'm going to stick with the mythological theme. I do like mythological decks. When moving to this one. Now, this is the other Shaman Caselli deck. If you remember the Shaman Caselli Tarot from the last video, this is the new Mythic, which has a very, very plain back. It's the only thing I'm disappointed with, because we could have done with the Greek knotwork. around the edges. But this is really a sort of fabulous deck. It has so much meaning in it, and it has some very interesting associations with it as well. Of course, goes on into the mythology. This is Prometheus being punished in the Hanged Man. And each of the suits, pentacles, wands, swords and cups, has a story to them. And I'm not going to go into the great details of the story, but each of the suits has a story. You have the sort of Jason and the Argonauts kind of thing, and you have, I think, Achilles features in one of them, and really they go quite deeply into the actual stories as they move up the numbers. Here we have the 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, which I believe is Psyche and Eros. I'm not 100% certain of that. Beautiful Temperance card. I love rainbows, and we have one in this card. Then we have the Judgment of Paris and the Lovers, 10 of Cups. Sorry, excuse me, 2 of Cups. I thought we had the 10 of Cups. This is the 2. Page of Cups, which is Narcissus. The Knight of Cups. This has the Rider-Waite associations, with the knights being on horseback and the kings being seated. The Magician. And it's just generally a beautiful card, and one of my all-time favourites is the Sun, which of course is Apollo, as he is a patron deity of mine. So, absolutely amazing, amazing deck. Now, another mythological deck we have is the Celtic Terror by Julian de Boer. Has this rather interesting and quite sort of understated knotwork on the back. And the cards themselves are just beautiful. 10 of Cups in this case. We have the 6 of Wands. We have the Prince of Swords. Interestingly, this also goes with kings and princes, but has the princes, which are the knights, on horseback. 7 of Wands here. 4 of Pentacles. Beautiful Sun card. Absolutely amazing. Then we have the 3 of Cups. And the 2 of Cups, as they've particularly turned out in this shuffling. 2 of Pentacles. It's just an awesome, beautiful deck. And there's the King of Cups. You can see the kings are sat. Some very interesting colour choices. This is one of the aces. Now all of the aces have the same backdrop. They have this window with this ledge, and then the suit icon is in the centre, as it is with the cup in this case, and the sword in this case. So again, another fabulous deck. Now, one of the decks that was probably the first dozen that I got is another Celtic style deck, and this is the Sacred Circle Tarot. This is a very large deck, and here you'll notice that they're actually photographic with kind of this World Tree card, which is the world, is fabulous. It's one of my all-time favourite cards in any deck. But they're photographic with computer-generated graphics over the top. So they're a real interesting mix. The names are reassigned in this deck. So this is the Fool, which is the Green Man. So it helps to know a little bit about the sort of Celtic mythology here. And the only thing that I sort of disagree with in this deck is the Druid, which is more of a magical character to my way of thinking, is actually card 5, and the more religious character, which in this case is the High Priest, is card 1, where the Magician would be. So they are, excuse me, they are kind of reversed. But you get beautiful cards like, for example, this, the Page of Cups, where it actually is a person. They have a very interesting Hanged Man, which they call Sacrifice. So the aces are beautiful too. So, all in all, a really fabulous deck. The Tower and the Star. And then one of my favourite aces, which is Cups. And then the last one I'll do from this deck is the High Priestess, who is, if you remember the Robin Wood deck from the previous video, this is probably my next favourite High Priestess card. Absolutely gorgeous. She has a quartz crystal ball in her hands. Now, moving along, because these videos can take a long time, to the first of the Ciro Marchetti, or Marchetti, I'm not sure exactly of that, decks. Amazing artist who I believe lives in England, has spent a lot of time in America. He's actually Italian, so he's got around a bit, but he's amazing in what he does. And this is the very, very well known now Gilded Tarot. This is the small deck, and this is very much computer generated, as you can see. Again, has the kings set down, but he does the most amazing computer artwork. Really is fabulous. I mean, look at this for a magician card. Really, and then of course you've got the Hermit. Really incredible work that he does. Fabulous Lovers card. Absolutely amazing Lovers card. All in all, just a really beautiful deck. And the last one, because I'm going to try to whiz through these a little bit, is the Wheel of Fortune. Just totally incredible artwork the man does. And I may actually do another video on his decks as a whole, because I have just about all of them. There's a couple I'm missing. But fabulous, fabulous deck to read that with. Now, moving to another great artist who does a completely different style. This is the Aquarian Tarot, which is by David Paladini. And I've been trying for a very long time to get hold of the new Paladini deck, but it's out of print, so if anybody wants to send me one, feel free. And as you'll see, this is the Strength card. His style is very different. It's very, very sort of Art Deco. You just look at the font, you can see that. Very stark, a little bit like the Morgan Greer in some ways, a little bit zoomed in, which I like, but very, very bleached out colours. And then he sticks these really strong, like terracottas and what have you, in. And yeah, I love this deck. It's one of those that I use to really get behind the secrets of things, because I find that this is very much a sort of an illuminating deck. It's a very lunar deck. And the wands, or the rods as they're called in this, are sort of flowering buds, which reminds me of a deck I don't personally own, which is the Hanson Roberts deck, and that also has the same thing, where they are basically they're flowering buds. So I mean, this is again a fabulous High Priestess card. You can just imagine a mystic in the sort of 1920s probably, dressing like that. Queen of Cups. Absolutely incredible deck. I love it to bits. I really do. Now, we have another deck, which this is the first one I'm showing you by the artist Will Worthington. And this is the Wildwood Terror. It has an incredibly plain back, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But the other people involved with this deck were Mark Ryan and John Matthews, and it's very different to a standard tarot deck, but it has just the most astonishing artwork. I mean, take a look at their idea of the magician, which is they call the shaman. It is just unreal, the artwork. They've actually put names on the cards. So, for example, vessels, which is cups, I normally think of as kind of an emotional loss. They've got it as ecstasy here, so they have repositioned and renamed certain things, which you have to kind of get used to. But the other interesting thing is that the court cards are animals. For example, this is the Knight of Vessels, Knight of Cups, and it's an eel. So it's kind of slipping through the water at the path of least resistance. We also have, instead of an empress, we have a green woman. And obviously green man is the emperor. The hooded man, which I have to admit, makes me think of Robin Hood from the 1980s. The hooded man, and I know it's interesting because I know Mark Ryan was involved with that television show. But the hooded man is the hermit. And then here's the Knight of Stones, which is pentacles, and this is a horse. So, very, very interesting. And then the moon is called the mirror. In fact, actually, no. This is, I beg your pardon, this is card 12. So this is the Hanged Man. Then you have, instead of the chariot, you have the archer. Which I have to say, makes me think of the Norse god Ulla. Then we have the Queen of Vessels, which is salmon. So you have that wisdom aspect there. It's just a really fabulous deck. And here's the Emperor. Really, really amazing. And what you have is arrows are swords, bows are wands, vessels are cups, and stones are pentacles. Absolutely fascinating deck to work with, but you do have to rethink things slightly when you use it. And the final one in this segment is one of the Sylvia Gainsford decks, and I do have all of hers as well, and I will go through the others in perhaps another video. And this is the Tarot of the Old Path. So this is another Wiccan deck, and she has a very, very unique style, I think. Very unique borders, and I love the court cards. This is the King of Pentacles. We have Seven of Swords. Really fabulous. Interesting Two of Wands, or Two of Rods again, rods in this deck. Here, this idea of walking on stilts. A slightly more traditional chariot card, although this is called Mastery, and actually features the 4 elements in. We've got 4 horse heads here, not 2. Very interesting tower card, because the tower is basically a head. And then we have the Ace of Cups, which is called Cauldrons in this deck. It's just amazing. Then we have the Devil, which is actually temptation, because of course from a Wiccan perspective there's no such thing as the devil. It's a more of a Christian tradition. Ace of Rods. And the Fool shows, actually, interestingly enough, we have a baby trying to get to some fire, and the mother is like, oh no, can't believe that. She gets after him. So, really, really fascinating the way that this works out. One of my all-time favourites. And just look at this for a sun card, which even features the zodiac in the rays of the sun. And then I have to say one of my favourite charming cards from this deck, which is the Two of Cauldrons. Absolutely love her work. Sylvia Gainsford and Howard Rodway, to give them both credit, because it's just astonishing, that deck. As I say, I have several of hers, so if you're interested, I may do, please let me know in the comments, I may do a video looking at a specific tarot author. Sylvia Gainsford, the illustrator Will Worthington, Ciro Marchetti, perhaps do a comparison with the Juliet Sharman Burke decks. that kind of thing. Obviously, Clive Barrett, I have both of his decks. If there's a particular tarot author you're interested in, and I have decks by them, feel free to drop me some comments and I will do a video on them. So, it only remains for me to say that I hope you've enjoyed this second video, and as I say, I will be looking to do more of these, but do let me know what you think of these first two. Have a wonderful day, as always. Enjoy your decks. Leave me some video responses about your own decks as well. I'd be very interested to see. And as always, love, light, blessings, and Friþ to you all.